Hi everybody, Jo here again. Thanks so much for popping in. Today we're going to have a bit of a catch up and I use the Shanty stamp. And this is this beautiful stamp here. I think this could be a gingerbread house, you know. Fabulous for a new home card. So I do hope you'll make yourself comfy and join me. Have you got a nice brew? Cheeky biscuit? I haven't. I'm really trying to be good. Well, I say trying. So this all starts with a piece of multifarious card, and this is 7 by 7, and I'm going to use the beautiful stamp and stencil machine to start off with. And yes, we can just lift it up. Now I keep a piece of copy paper in here, and I'm just going to put my card roughly in the middle. I say roughly because it will be roughly, but it doesn't matter because my stamp, and again, if you're not sure where to put your stamp, remember to just use the acetate to help guide you. Now, because my stamp's clean, I can actually put it on. If you're worried your stamp isn't clean, just pop a piece of acetate and then pop it on top. But I'm thinking I'm going to have that about there. So I shall just pick it up. And the table may wobble a little bit when I pick it up, so I do apologise. Versafine Clair Pinecone. Now again, this is quite a sizable stamp, but I'm inking it up properly. You know, I'm not just doing it half-hearted thinking I can stamp again. I want it to stamp as best as I can, but I do have that opportunity to ink up if I need. And we'll just bring it over. She says, put my ink pad in the way. And we'll just give that a gentle press. Again, let that ink soak in. Don't be in a rush to pick it up. I know we can, but that's beautiful. No need to stamp it again. I'm happy with that. So I'm going to take this part out. And then I'm going to come in with the lovely stamp and spin part. And again, make sure that it's the correct way. So you want the sort of lime green upwards. And then that just clicks back in, look, and away we go. So again, just check I'm positioned okay. And I'm going to come in, the first stamp is this beautiful oak leaf flourish. Now again, for me, I want to sort of look on here where I want it. So I'm thinking I want it to be about here. So a little tip for me, when I start off, I make sure that my stamp and spin has these, it's got some little dots on, and I have those positioned at 12, 3, 6 and 9, and I find that works well. I'm going to pick that up, and before I actually ink it up, I'm just going to move it to the top. Right, it's a bit too high there. So I'm just going to move it down a little at the top, pick it up again, and this is just the way I do it, and see where it comes when it gets down here. Yeah, happy with that. So start off, make sure I'm in position there, and I'm going to keep with that pine cone for this, and I'm going to ink up the leaf, bring it over and stamp. Lift it up, and again you've got these gorgeous handles. Lift it up, check it's stamped, and then just move it round, and you can actually feel it. Mine has a bit of a sort of a back kick, but I can feel when it's ready. Just to ink up again. Lift it up, check it's stamped, but I want a second generation in the middle. So just by eye, I'm going to move it back a little bit, lift it up, put it back to where it was, feel the next position, ink up. Now it's up to you. Some crafters ink up and then spin round, and to be honest, sometimes it just depends how I feel as to which way I do it. And again, I'm just going to do it by eye, come back about halfway, second generation, Now you may get a little bit of reflection, obviously just because of the perspex. Again, I do apologise, there's nothing I can do about that. But you see how you can quite speedily whiz your way round. Now if you wished, you could do them all first generation. I just like to include the second. And also for me, I just find I'm using up that ink that's left on the stamp. And you'll get into such a lovely sort of rhythm. And it's like all things. I always say, you know, like cooking, you know your own oven. Well, you'll know your own stamp and spin. Halfway, last one. There we go. And already, I mean, this would make a gorgeous autumn design, wouldn't it? So we'll give that a wipe. And I'm just going to wipe the lid. Pop the lid on there. So the next stamp I'm going to use is dill, one of the herbs. And for this one, I'm going to come in with avocado. So again, I'm just going to position this one on here. And what I think is over where I've got the light, I'll just have that sort of angle. So I've got a bit of the greenery coming out. No, I like it on the outside. So I'm going to go for that. Now you can use the circles on here. And I've shown you that before, but I've just, for me, I like to actually position it on my design. I've just found it works well for me. But as I say, you will come up with a design that works well for you. And it's all about getting in that rhythm and just literally turning, inking up, turning. So again, you could leave it like this, but we're just going to introduce, and it's a tiny little stamp off the wild foliage, and it looks like a little ginkgo, but just to introduce a little bit of blue. So again, I'm just going to check I've got my little dashes at the right place, and we'll do the outside first, and we'll just have one come in there. And for this, I've gone for warm breeze. And I'm literally going to breeze this around. Yeah. So we want one on the inside now. And I'm going to start there because I'm not sure whether to have one here or not. But I'll start in the middle. Just get my dots back. And again, you might have your own little routine or hints and tips of how to use this. I mean, as I say, we all get in our own little ways, don't we? Now, I'm going to stop there. I think that's just the right combination, don't you? I hope you agree. So what we can do, we'll lift this off. And then just want to add a little bit of colour. It might be you like this white area left white. For me, I just want to take that whiteness off. That makes sense. So lime punch for this, always blend in the lid, and I'm just going to start here and just blend my way around, and I'll go halfway and just show you the difference. I like this side with that green. So now we're going to add some colour, and to add the colour, my base layer is going to be a bit of a cheats colouring. You know I like my quick colouring. So henna. Number 3 brush, and let's just take again the whiteness off the card, and we're just going to add a base colour now, and then we can use our pencils on top of this to add extra colour and extra detail. But I find this is a great way to get that first lot of colour on, especially when it being a large area. So that's my henna just on there. And then next I'm going to come in with Sahara, and again the number 3 brush, perfect for this. And this is where I'm going thatched cottage. So this is my beautiful thatch. We've just had it rethatched, look. Now I believe it is quite expensive to have a cottage rethatched. So, sorry, excuse me. And a little bit of light in there. Like I say, how quick was that? But then we can come in with our Mondelez pencils, watercolour pencils, and add some more detail. So the colours I'm going to be using are number 30, 33, 132, number 16 and number 24. And I just need a little bit of kitchen roll to lean on. So I'm just going to start with the light brown and add a little bit of colour to the chimney. And then I'm just going to come in and add a little bit of detail to the trees here. And it's up to you how much colour and how much detail. Depends how much colouring you want to do. Now I'm just going to colour the odd one of these bricks here. And I'm going to use my Wink of Stella to blend. So I'm just literally colouring the odd one. Come in with my darker brown. And I'm having shadow on this outer side. So again, under the thatch we'll have shadow. And on this side, and I'm just going to drag just to give that bit more detail. And at the base I've got that shadowing, and again we'll just do a couple of these so that when we blend it just adds to the whole design. And I know you're wondering about the lovely sort of is it coping stones? Anyway, the stones around the window. I'm sure they're called different things in different countries anyway. So I've gone for red for this because I'm thinking it's a beautiful red brick and wood built cottage with our lovely thatched roof. But again, the colour choice, what I thought as well, because we've got the heart on here, look, I can bring in those colour tones. And I promise I'm not sticking my tongue out while I'm colouring in. I love doing colouring in at workshops, especially in-person workshops, because it's amazing how many ladies and gentlemen stick the tongue out while they're colouring. And often the room goes very quiet as everybody just concentrates. Now again, this will be a lovely card for you to stamp up, but lovely in your journal, and you just take your time colouring in. We'll add a couple of little red bricks on here just to blend those colours. Now the door, I want to try and get this warm breeze colour, and I hadn't got a colour in my set, so I thought I'd mix these two. So what I'm thinking is it's sort of a blue colour warm breeze, isn't it? And I can hear you saying yes, but it's sort of a greeny blue and aqua, so hence we've got the green. And we'll just put the two together, and don't worry, your colouring doesn't have to be perfect because, as I say, I'm going to come in and do that wink of colouring. But let's see if we can get anything to match that sort of colour. I think the tones are going to be pretty much there myself. So if we pop those down, and I'll start, and I'm just going to colour the yellow first. So you always start with your lightest colour. Just clean that. We'll go to the brown. And again, I'm just going to blend a little bit. And down. Oh, that really brings it out on the trees. And here it'll just blend that lovely colour. And look how bright it makes it. Now it could be you just want to use water, in which case just get your water brush and add the water. Now I'm going to come on to the red. I just love the Wink of Stella because it gives me that little bit of sparkle. But look how that red, if I lift it up, can you see the difference? This side to this. This is much deeper and more vibrant. And again, I need to lean on my kitchen roll because I don't want to put marks on it. I don't want to do all this and then end up with marks. I need that emergency butterfly, you know, the one that I didn't really want on the card. And I think that colour's blended beautifully. I must have been really pleased with that. So clean that. Couple of little finishing tricks because we've got shadow down this side and I'm thinking there's a space here. So let's just come in with our moon mask. So I'll turn it round and just add the moon there. And for this one, we'll come in with mermaid. Now, I don't want it very heavy, so hold it gently. Remember, tickle, a nice light touch and just tickle around that moon mask. Just to where our lovely shanty house is. And then round this side. Take the moon mask off, turn it round. And yes, I just need a little bit more this side, but I'm not going over the green look. I'm just lightly filling that space. And I think that really finishes the design in that area. Last little bit, let's add some shade down at the bottom. So in we come with our lovely soft pastel pencils, and we're going for the dark brown and the black. And I'm just going to add some dark brown at the base. And then just blend that out. So we've got some shadowing, but also I want to have a bit of a path. So I'll come in with the black. And let's just do that combination of brown and black to give us shadow and almost that illusion that there's a bit of a path coming from the house just under that front door there. And because the moon is over here, it will just come this way. Biodegradable cotton bud, just a cotton bud. You can use your finger to smudge it. And I give that a blow. I don't want to wipe it with my hand because I can smudge it. And if I get it on here, I'll get it on the rest of the work. And, you know, we want to keep these bits white. So speaking of white, our lovely Signo Uniball, let's just add a couple of highlights. Just on the window, a couple on here, look. Just where it's going to catch. A couple on the stones. Just a couple on the wreath here. Just on the ones that are near the moon. Don't want to overcook it. I just want a few to make it look nice. Maybe just a couple on here. And then my favourite, you know this, the yellow sparkle Posca. Now, Tracy's drawn us these lovely dots, look. So I think that's perfect to add some yellow sparkle and maybe just have a few that come up a little bit. And here we've got them trailing down. And the yellow goes because we've got yellow look in our lovely thatched roof. So you can add as many of these. I don't want to overcook it with these. I almost just want to enhance them. And finally, some lovely stickles. So this is the Stardust. And again, you know mine can be a bit, it suffers from, did you hear that? A bit windy. So we'll pop it on my mat. And then I've just got an empty Wink of Stella. So this is one that I didn't put a refill in. So it's just an empty one. And it just means I can paint my stickles on. And I can get it exactly where I want it. It won't spit at my work. And also it goes on a little bit finer. And this is good two ways. One thing, it'll dry quicker, but also it lasts longer. And I'm a bit thrifty, you see. I like my things to last longer. Get as much value for money as I can. And I'm just dotting that look exactly where I want it. Clean that up. And this, I don't need to clean it, just pop the lid on. It'll be perfect for next time. And look at that. I think that's such a lovely card. Now, we need a sentiment, so I'll try and be quick. You know, did a workshop recently and said to the ladies, we might make a card in 10 minutes, but you know what? It might take me 20 just to decide what I'm going to put. On my original, I've put Once Upon a Time because I thought it was really, you know, once upon a time. It's just the beginning of a lovely day in this beautiful house. So I'm actually going to put take each day as it comes because I think that's lovely. And as always, I'm going to use my scissors just to position it. And I think it looks nice, the balance, and especially where we've got the path. Just going to pop it down here. Need to get it straight though. There we go. Now I think that would have so many uses. Maybe you could do some notelets, a spring, summer, autumn and a winter version. I hope that helps. We gave you a quick go with the stamp and spin, but this shows you how you can incorporate it in a design. And again, you don't need to do a full wreath, just a partial one. So thanks as always for popping in. I'll see you again tomorrow. Love and hugs from me. Bye for now.